Good Friday morning. Oh my gosh, this is our second week of the KW Southwest Realtor Know-hoW. And are we going to call this a podcast, Susan, or what are we doing here?
I don't know. It's just an interview series of bringing real estate knowledge and local knowledge of charities in Fort Bend County. We want to be the go-to solution, Keller Williams Southwest. So we're going to bring lenders and industry experts, as well as charities, talk about charities here in the local area.
Wonderful. And so that has been, for as long as I've worked with Keller Williams, that's been the theme or the mantra or the tagline is giving where we live, right? Is that just for Keller Williams Southwest, or does the whole Keller Williams company embrace that philosophy?
Keller Williams International.
That's what I thought. Okay. So we got lots of things planned, right, Susan? I mean, Susan has been working endlessly, night and day, to get all this kicked off. She is the first of the co-hosts. We'll have a different co-host every month, and each one of these co-hosts will be a Keller Williams Southwest agent, and they will be representing a particular charity that's part of our entire Champions for Charity program. So Susan, say a little bit more about that and introduce our guests for today.
Oh, absolutely. The giving where we live is huge. As a real estate agent, we are in a position to serve. We serve our clients to the nth degree, and we find that that same characteristic is prevalent in wanting to serve in the community. So we have over 400, I think close to 500 agents in our office that are active in a myriad of charities. We picked out just 12 to talk about this year. The first one being the First Colony Dream League, which is very near and dear to my heart. I do have a son who's 15 with autism, and I have had him extremely involved in a multitude of things, including playing baseball. At first, I had to kind of push him. He didn't really want to be that social, but I was so glad I did. I started with another challenger division about 10 years ago, but moved over to the First Colony Dream League. Met Bruce Hicks at that time, who is our guest today, and was so excited at how organized this is. Bruce, I absolutely love everything that you and all the board of directors are doing. I want to turn it over to you to talk about what is the Dream League and how. I know we've already stopped taking players for this season, but there's so much opportunity for growth and for us to help other special needs children and adults. But Bruce Hicks, take it away. I'm gonna let you.
Before Bruce starts, can we tell everybody who Harry is?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So Harry is our technical person. So technical people don't always get recognized, and I want to make sure we recognize Harry because he does our video each week. He actually edits this video after we're done and disseminates it wherever. So Harry, why don't you say hello and say a couple of words, and then
hello there. Glad to be here. And just behind the scenes, people like Bruce make this event. So yeah, like Susan said, take it away, Bruce.
All right, so Bruce,
go ahead, Bruce, you're up.
Tell us a little bit about the Dream League and the history and what it's all about.
Sure. And thank you so much, Susan, for this opportunity to talk about, my favorite thing in the world, which is the Dream League at First County Little League. We are the challenger division of First County Little League. We're part of the league. Little League International has 3 divisions: baseball, softball, and challenger. And we are the challenger division. And we have grown from around 30 players in our first season, and now our 13th season, we have 128 players this year.
Wow.
On 10 different teams. Very successful program, and some great volunteers like Susan and Harry. Susan's been a coach now for a handful of years. I think Connor's been playing this is his 7th year with us, and she's been a coach for at least half of that, and as well as Harry. And the volunteers really help make the Dream League work. We're very fortunate to have very generous sponsors and donors. Our largest sponsor is the, excuse me, the Deacons of Deadwood, which is a motorcycle group who's a 501c3 charity, and their thing is to raise money to give to children's charitable groups. And they've given over $2 million in the Houston area in the last decade. They've been our largest supporter now for a number of years, and we thank them because it's through their generosity that allows us to offer the Dream League at no cost to any of the families. And registration, uniforms, equipment, etc. We are closed for the season in terms of players, but we do have needs still for volunteers, both some assistant coaches. We're still shy on a couple of our teams of having enough coaches. Not Susan's team, she's got a great staff already, but several of the other teams really could use some help. And a big part of the Dream League and Challenger program are the volunteers they're called buddies elsewhere. We call them angels in the outfield. And these are high school students, middle school and high school students who come out on Saturday morning and are buddies to players, help them in the dugout, help them bat, run the bases, field the ball, keep them busy, keep them corralled in some cases. Some of our players are more challenging than others, as Susan well remembers from Connor's early days, as she mentioned. He wasn't the biggest fan, but he is today. And it really makes a difference. We're very fortunate to have a lot of volunteers. We need more angels, and we could use some additional things. For potential players, come out this season and watch some of the games and see what it's like and be ready to sign up when registration for next spring opens the first week of January.
And where would they go to see a game, Bruce?
Yeah, we play all games at First County Little League, which is at 3232 Austin Parkway in Sugar Land. Where sometimes the GPS doesn't find it as well, but we're directly across the street from First County Middle School. So that's an easy way to find it on GPS to locate us. And we're there every Saturday morning, except during spring break and Easter. So we're on break right now. We resume on March 23rd, and we finish on May 11th. We play every Saturday morning. We have 2 games at 9 o'clock and 3 games at 10:30. So that takes a lot of volunteers to make all that happen. All of our games also have guest announcers. So the kids really get a kick out of being announced and cheered from on-field live announcers.
And they all have their nicknames too.
Yes, it's great nicknames. And they love hearing their name and their nickname and being cheered on. It's a great program.
We all like that. So
may I interject real quick? I wanted to, just because the children are what it's all about, or the kids and the players. Like I said, it's not just children, it's also adult players. But Harry has a really cool slide, a collage of some of the pictures taken over the years, the players. And if Harry could show that, this is what it's all about.
It really is.
You can see the smiles on the kids' faces. It's such a victory. We have, the mayor comes out, sometimes Pete Olson, I have him in a couple of pictures here. Everything, and we have children in wheelchairs. We have children that are blind, deaf, autism, of so many different challenges, but it doesn't matter because we are there to help. And we have people that are passionate and caring that stop and take the time to help. But like Bruce said, right now, this season, what we need most are volunteers. There are so many local high schools that send kids out, but so many of them are busy on Saturday mornings. So we really could use volunteers. We're on break right now for spring break. Starts back up February 23rd.
March 23rd.
I'm sorry, March 23rd. Whoops, I'm a month behind. But anyway, just if you can't remember First Colony Dream League, call Keller Williams Southwest. All of us are tagged on this. People can find us through Facebook, send a private message. But I encourage you, if this excites you and you have a child with special needs or an adult that would benefit from playing baseball, when do we usually have open registration for the next season?
We start no later than the first week of January. I opened it earlier this year because we had an early start because of First Colony schedule. But the safe time is the first week of January. Mark your calendar for January 2nd to go online and sign up. And registration will close about the third week of January to allow us to plan our teams, get our uniforms ordered, because that takes more than 3 weeks to get uniforms in for all the players. So we have to shut it off right around then. So come in then, and you can get to us through our website, which is FC, like First County, FCDreamLeague.com. We also have a Facebook page, First County Dream League on Facebook, and we also have the same on Twitter. So we're easy to find. We want to be easy to find. We want more players wherever we can. As Susan mentioned, we have, and there's our contact information, including my direct email and phone is on there as well. Susan was alluding to, we have two actually divisions within our Dream League, the regular Dream League as we refer to it, and then the Senior Dream League. And the Senior Dream League is for kids 19 and up, and we have no upper age limit. We have several kids, I call them kids because they are to me, they're in their 30s who are still playing with us. So, and kids that are 15 to 18 can play either the regular Dream League or play the Senior Dream League. But once they're 19, they have to be in the senior division. And we've got players who've been with us their whole life who are now in the senior division, or since their early childhood.
But Bruce, when it first started, you didn't have the Senior Dream League, right?
No,
and
that's correct.
It grew because so many kids didn't want to stop when they were 18.
I know.
How many Senior Dream Leagues or teams do we have now?
We have 4 Senior Dream League teams.
Wow.
So we have right at, I think it's 46 Senior Dream League players.
Wow.
Which some of them had gone away, had graduated, if you will, and when we started the senior division, we were able to bring them back. Yeah, Harry.
Part of the beauty of all this, of course, is for the kids, and to see their smiles just making it around the bases is great. But also there's the angels that come out to help.
Yep.
Last week we had a family come out with 3 or 4 kids. Some of their children had challenges too. One was legally considered blind, and yet that child was out there on the field helping other children.
As an
It's
angel,
a beautiful
as opposed
thing.
to being a player. That's correct.
Mhm.
That's amazing. Oh my
and
God.
that's what they want to do. So, you know, the smiles and stuff, you're exactly right. I got time for one quick story. It goes back early days of the Dream League. We had a child who was in a wheelchair. He had no verbal skills. He had significant physical and intellectual issues. His buddy happened to be a starting lineman for Clements High School football team. And I was out there watching, and literally his angel was running him around the bases almost full speed. And as he came around third, I looked, and this child had a giant smile on his face. And a moment later, his mother, who I didn't know at the time was his mother, came up and just started hugging me, and she's crying and thanking me. And I said, well, of course. And she said, that's the first time I've seen him smile in 3 years.
Oh my God.
So tears flowed everywhere, as they often do, along with the cheers and the smiles and the hugs. The rewards I get every week from these children is just amazing.
I was going to say, what a reward.
So one of the things too, Bruce, that is real important to you, and I know into the Dream League concept, is you want to give these parents a break. Especially mom, oh my goodness, my job is more than full time. You don't know when you're going to have a meltdown or need an extra set of hands. And many times these parents, they kind of live more of an isolated life with their families because it's overwhelming and exhausting. So even though the game may only last 1 hour, but for a parent to have a typical, or what feels almost like a normal, everyday experience, to sit in the stands and not have to be hands-on with your child, what a break and what a glory all at the same time. And that's huge.
And also this feeling of community, that I'm not the only parent that's going through this or that has a challenge. Oh my gosh. And Bruce, you mentioned earlier, like back in the early days. So what were the early days? Like, when did you start this?
Well, this is our 13th season.
Okay.
And we were fortunate a few years ago to be a great honor to be selected to go to Williamsport, Pennsylvania to play in the Little League World Series.
Oh,
They have a
wow.
Challenger Division exhibition game on the final championship weekend. So we played in the morning. The international championship was at noon, and the U.S. championship was in the afternoon. It was the year that Pearland was there last, and in the U.S. championship game. And I can't tell you how incredible it is to be on that field, looking into the stands at 10,000 people who were there for the Challenger game. And
Oh,
it
wow.
was uplifting as could be. I was
I'm sure.
honored 2 years later to be invited to be an umpire at the Little League World Series, which is a one-time only event. And we got all the umpires work the Challenger game. And I will tell you, every umpire told me that it was the best part of the week for them. And most of them had never been exposed to the Challenger program before. Only 2 others had ever been exposed. And I told them, I said, you guys don't know what's coming. It's going to be amazing. And they were all that way.
Wow. That's
It truly
exciting.
is rewarding like you can imagine.
Okay, and I know we need to start wrapping it up, but one thing, I was so fortunate that my son was able to be one of the players
Yep.
in sport for the World Series. But one of the most touching parts of that whole entire game, one of our players who had just recently had a surgery, he was wheelchair bound, and his helper, his angel in the outfield, wheeled him around all the bases. And when he got to third, even though probably against his doctor's orders, it took him a while. He got out of his wheelchair on third base and walked all the way. I'm gonna get weird. Oh, I'm gonna start crying. There wasn't a dry eye in the whole. Oh, I'm crying right now. It was so moving.
It was.
To see that child, because he knew, even though he didn't speak much or anything, he knew the importance of what that meant.
It was an amazing moment. As Susan's right, there wasn't a dry eye among those 10,000 people. They were all on their feet cheering. And to watch him walk home was a moment. I call Jacob my hero of the Dream League.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing kid who happens to have, I can't even pronounce or tell you the name of the syndrome that he has, but he's one of only 250 people in the world with that syndrome. So, we have kids with some immense challenges.
We do.
That's what an amazing story. Oh my gosh. So that is awesome. Bruce, it's been so wonderful to have you here. And I did want to make on the website, remember it's FC for First Colony, dreamleague.com. And I went to the contact us page, and your name and email address is there. But I did see that also the location is there with a map of how to get there and all of that. So lots of great information on the website. And here it is again, fcdreamleague.com. Thank you, Harry. So if you want to be a volunteer, if you're with Keller Williams and you're watching this Facebook Live, then you can get with Susan. If you're not and you're watching this, then you can go to the website and get in touch with Bruce there and offer whatever. It sounds like a great opportunity to.
Yeah, and that game schedule is up there too, so you can know what days we're playing.
Mhm.
Also, the registration page is there for those that want to register
Correct.
next year. So, okay, got it. What a great morning. This is a great way to start the day. So, Friday. So, Susan, thank you very much for being my co-host for the month. And Harry, your help has just been incredible. So, thank you.
Glad to be here.
Anybody want to say anything to wrap this up, Susan?
No, just please, we want volunteers for the First Colony Dream League. That's the biggest thing. More hands on deck is what we need. And thank you, Bruce. And as always, thank you, Harry and Sandy.
It's been
Thanks,
great.
everybody.
See you guys next Friday for Realtor Know-How from Keller Williams.